Hi everyone, so today I am dedicating this video to a topic that I am asked about repeatedly by readers, by fans and aspiring authors alike, namely publishing with Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, or KDP for short. I published both of my books with Amazon after doing a fair bit of research into the pros and cons of independent publishing over traditional publishing. Weighing up the costs, getting some advice from another author, and now I feel like I'm actually seasoned enough with the process to offer some pearls of wisdom in that regard. So the following video covers 5 things that you as authors, or rather aspiring authors thinking about publishing with KDP, Amazon KDP, the things that you should know and be advised of before you undertake that decision. So yeah, here are 5 things to know before publishing with Amazon KDP. So the first thing you ought to know about Amazon KDP is that it is totally free to use. As self-publishing goes, it is also quite easy. You upload your Word document or your PDF, whatever you happen to have, fill in all the data about the book, your price, what kind of paper you want it on, if there are photos and illustrations, whether you want those in colour or in black and white, all that sort of thing. Add your cover art, and which we'll come on to in a minute. And when you're done, hit publish. Obviously, they have to approve and do all the checks, make sure it's decent and stuff. And this process does not cost you a penny. However, you should not be deluded into thinking that you can conduct an entire book publishing project for free. Amazon will not necessarily cover the costs for things like your cover design. Again, I will talk about this in a minute. The marketing, or even advanced copies for events, for signings, for pre-orders, and so on. So like any sort of independent project or business, which is effectively what it is an independent business, there will be expenses. So best prepare for them is the first bit of advice. The second piece of advice is to tell you that Kindle and paperback royalties are different. At first, Amazon KDP only self-published to Kindle, so ebook format. However, in 2017 or 2018, they rolled out their beta version of paperback self-publishing, which I got on when I launched Lust and Liberty. So now you have 2 publishing options for this particular service. It's worth noting, though, that the royalties, the profit margins, are very different between the 2 formats. On Kindle, it is quite reasonable. You can choose between 35% and 70% royalty plans, which determines your minimum price. Either way, you can set a quite low cost, really, for your book and make a fairly decent royalty per copy sold. In my case, for example, I sell Sin and Secrecy, my second book, for £2.50. Amazon takes a tiny delivery charge and their 30% cut, and then the £1.60 something left over is mine. In the paperback format, however, it becomes a lot harsher. In my case, the royalty plan, the only royalty plan available, is 60%, which sounds nice on the surface. You go into that thinking you can price a 500-page book at £10 per copy and make £6 per book sold. Lovely. Cards on the table, no, not lovely, because you have to factor in the printing cost for each book, which they probably do tell you about, but they don't actually tell you how much of that is a chunk out of you, how big a chunk it is. And that's another cost that Amazon does not cover as well. It comes out of your 60% royalties. So a 500-page book that you sell for £10 but costs £5.86 per copy to print, that £5.86 comes out of your £6 royalty, leaves you 14p per copy sold. This is why, and I get a lot of comments about this as people being put off by the price, this is why my paperback versions are priced so highly on Amazon. It may strike a reader as expensive, but I think it's just reasonable business practice when it comes down to it. I have to set the price in the £13, £14, £15 range in order to make something worthwhile per copy sold. The third point is regarding a cover designer. Now, at the start of this video, I know I said that Amazon won't cover the cost of your cover design, and that's not strictly true. They do have a cover creator tool with which you can put together some perfectly adequate designs, play around with some stock photos as well, if you will. I've seen a lot of these on the Amazon self-published book promotion groups on Facebook, and while these authors may do very well out of these books, I'm sure I don't know, the only words that spring to mind when I see them are amateur and tacky, especially books that have like book number 4 in the XYZ detective fiction series. It looks and sounds awful. That's the long and short of it, really. How many well-known, successful and professional-looking books have that kind of thing emblazoned on the front? None come to mind right now. So, of all the expenses incurred in the independent publishing project, or even in the independent publishing business, I'd say getting a professionally designed cover is the most important one. The one that is most worth investing in my opinion. I hit the jackpot with both of my designers. I had 2 different designers for both books. Dan Lipsky, who designed Lust and Liberty's cover, did a fantastic job suggesting the mood of the piece with his artwork, and he laid the groundwork then from which Michał Musiałek took inspiration when designing the cover for the sequel, Sin and Secrecy, and my readers love the covers, some of them as much or even more than the content within. A good cover, it tips the scale in your favour as an independent author to step up that part of your professional game and engage a proper cover designer. Now, the next one is to do with my main stumbling block in my literary career thus far, which has been marketing. I did 1 or 2 events pre-COVID, but the rest of my campaign has been all online and social media based, and the results of that show in that the books are not exactly flying off the shelves. That's cards on the table for you. Don't say that for sympathy, I'm trying to be honest with you here. And that's because I did not put anything really, in the budget for proper marketing assistance, which is something that if I do go down the independent publishing route a 3rd time, whether with the next Berylford book or with You Can Hear Chopin or whichever, I will intend to put some money by. Because marketing is not my strong suit. I can put a strategy together, but actually executing it is another thing entirely. And if marketing is not your strong suit, I highly recommend consulting with someone, and if it's in the budget, pay for some of their services, even if it's just to get you started. I consulted with a really good company based local to me in Bournemouth in the UK, called Ocean View Marketing. They were a great help, and as such I have actually left a link to their website in the description if you're viewing this on YouTube, or at the end of the article if you're on my website. Definitely worth looking them up and getting in touch with Dan, who runs the company. He's very friendly, very knowledgeable. I'm sure he'd be happy to sort of point you in the right direction one way or another. And finally, encourage your readers to leave reviews. Now, this is actually something that you will want to do after you've published with Amazon KDP. If you've bitten the bullet and you've gone down that route and congratulations if that is the case. But if that is the case, yeah, they mean a lot to an independent author anyway, as they would any businessman with a new product. And on Amazon, it's no exception. If anything, it's even more important. Reviews are what people scroll down to check to see if a product is worth buying. And as an author, your immediate supporters are, or should be anyway, family and friends. So get them to chuck a review up once they've read the book. The more reviews you have, theoretically, the better it should do on Amazon's listings. I believe it sort of affects their algorithm. So, yeah, I know that they will sort of, friends and family as they do with me anyway, they'll sort of roll their eyes and, oh God, if we messed over when I get time, sort of press them for it, because it is, again, it sort of tips the scale one way or another. And with that, I should remind you all that both Barrowford Scandals books are both available on Amazon. Various links are available on the website, www.dale-hurst.com, and also my social channels on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube as well, of course. And if you've read one or both of them, be sure to leave reviews, taking note from that last point. Otherwise, don't forget to like, follow and subscribe to the social channels as mentioned. And finally, also remember that my podcast, The Dale Hurst Writing Show, has just rolled out its second episode, featuring spy novelist Colin Glavak. Really interesting chat that's worth a listen. That's available on Spotify. However, apart from that, this is Dale Hurst, over and out for now.